build it, he will.
It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cowk.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cowk with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
80 years ago today, D-Day, June 6th, 1944, that was General Eisenhower, later to become President Eisenhower. His last message to the young fellas that stormed those beaches. Glad to have you along today. Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. It is one of those days, right? You know, there's some of them are a little bit more sad than others, you know, if you think 9/11 or April 19th. But this day is more about the triumph. And man, you see those old pictures of, you know, and those of the landing craft and the youth. I mean, little kids, that were forced or not forced, that took the chance and took the choice to storm those beaches. Just an incredible day. That see some scenes from France already today, and it's embarrassing what the leader of this country used to be versus what it is right now. All right, coming up on the show today, we'll do a little bit of D-Day. NBA Finals start tonight in Boston and Dallas. Also, it seemed like J.J. Redick was going to be the coach of the L.A. Lakers. Not so fast, my friend. Reports this morning are that the Lakers are offering a mega deal to Danny Hurley, back-to-back championship coach at UConn. We hit that. Obviously, Sooners dominate Texas in Game 1 of the championship series in softball yesterday. Does Maxwell go back out there again today, or do we see kind of what we saw a couple of days ago in the semifinals where give her a day off of rest and try to win it with somebody else? History is going to be made either way now. They were kept on reiterating last night that in playoff softball, OU's never lost back-to-back games. Is that true? Maybe it's this group, maybe this senior group.
I would guess it's this senior group.
Yeah, it seems. Anyway, I heard him say that a couple of times last night. I thought, what? Anyhow, got Cade Sanford, Coach Maynard, scheduled to appear at the end of the show. Got an awesome football camp opportunity coming up for youngsters, and Cade's going to talk about that. We'll pick his brain and then see what's going on with Elk City football as well. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Talk about any of those things or whatever else might be on your mind. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area one of these days, Stay in touch with the show a couple of ways. Log on to kadsam.com or download the app. The app has it all. It's got radio. It's got the Penny News. Pick up a free copy of the Penny News at your favorite local newsstand. Big Elk and Paragon TV in there as well. Skinny on Sports Podcast. You can find it just anywhere. How are you today, Jared?
Good. How are you?
Can you imagine being 18, maybe even lying about being 18 and actually being about 16 or 17 in those landing craft about to storm the beaches of Normandy at such a ripe early age?
No way. I couldn't imagine that.
I can't either.
You know what's awesome about what you just said about there's some that forge their maybe birth certificates. I'm not sure exactly how that worked. Draft cards, whatever, because they wanted to go fight.
That's right.
For their country. They wanted to defend our country and defend what's right. But no, to answer your question, there's no way. I can't imagine that. I'm a 40-year-old man. I'd freak out. That's the bravery it took. You can't describe it.
No, you can't. It's, you think about, Big Elk and Paragon TV. It's kids that age. We live stream their basketball and football games.
Yeah. That
saved the world from evil. Obviously it didn't start 80 years ago, but kind of the turning point and the beginning of the end for the Nazi control of Europe was 80 years ago today on the beaches of Normandy in France. You can think that could happen today?
Like an invasion like that, to that magnitude?
Do we have enough people that care enough about this country that are willing to go fight the way that that the greatest generation was those 80 years ago today?
Sadly, no. But we would still, I believe that we still have the greatest, what am I trying to say? Military force in the world.
Yeah,
because of our technology, we don't need a lot of people, the mass amount of people to storm a beach like that. But no, we don't have. There's not enough patriotism in this country anymore to get that amount of people. We have a lot of people that have patriotism. Don't get me wrong, and the military is, I still, like I said, the strongest in the world. But if it was called upon, we need a call to arms, and I don't think we'd have enough.
It would be interesting to see. It really would. The ones that are there obviously are true patriots. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I don't know if you would get the amount. Yeah, good point though. A lot of retired military that might sign right back up.
Sure.
But that's very, very true.
I've always questioned if 9/11 happened at a different time, because it happened my senior year. I already had my life planned, not life, but you know what I mean? Like my next step, I was going to go to this college,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to study this and whatever, but say it happened like 2 or 3 years earlier. I've always wondered, would I enlist? Because it enraged me. You see what I'm saying? Like kind of like what Pearl Harbor did. There's a massive amount of people who enlisted, wanted to get them back and wanted to defend their country. I've always questioned that with myself. Like, would I try to do something? But yeah, and I hope we never have a point where we have to ask that question again, where, well, we need to strike back, but can we? Or do we have enough patriotism?
You'd like to believe. I like to believe there is, just because I'm a positive person, and that the silent majority is out there,
right?
And not the loud lunatics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to believe that. I really do.
There's the final thought on that. There's a reason why. There's literally, outside of maybe small instances in the 1800s, but we're kind of seeing it now on our southern border. But we have never been forcefully invaded or attempted to, because I believe that people think we can't go into America and do that. There's a lot of patriotism. Am I making sense? In this country where they know, don't go. It's not the military you got to worry about. It's the people that will rise up.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of them right here listening.
Sure.
Would be on that on that side of things for sure. No doubt about it. I saw that Ted Cruz was there at the ceremony this morning that Joe Biden left. World War II, he was shaking hands with Spielberg and Hanks, and of course Band of Brothers is one of those awesome miniseries that even goes back to Saving Private Ryan. There's a whole bunch of them out there that commemorate, kind of what is going on over there today. What are some of the ones that like Band of Brothers, if it's on, I can't stop watching.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Saving Private Ryan is always the first answer for me as far as movies. You mentioned Band of Brothers. The other one that Tom Hanks and his production company had his hands in, The Pacific. Did you see that one?
I never did. For some reason, I was not as enthralled or immersed of World War II, that part of it, as I always was with the Europe part.
Yeah. The Pacific's a good one, and Masters of the Air, it's one that just came out. Spielberg, what is this company? Dreams? Anyways, they came out with that one too just recently. It's a good miniseries to check out. Others, I know this is a weird one to put on this list, but I think it's essential to watch and kind of get reminded of the horrors of the Nazi regime and that Schindler's List.
Yeah.
And it also kind of reminds you of how good people can be. A lot of people forget that Oskar Schindler was actually a member of the Nazi Party, but he knew what was right. He knew he had to do something right. And but it's very raw, but I think it's almost essential, especially with what's going on in the Middle East and on our college campuses, that you got to get reminded of how bad the Holocaust was. Did you ever see Hacksaw Ridge?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That was better than I thought it'd be. It was really good. And what else did I write down? Did you ever see Valkyrie?
Yes.
That's a good one. I like the history of that, the story it tells. And is Oppenheimer a World War II movie?
I would assume. I haven't seen it, but I mean, it's about making the bomb and all that kind of thing.
I mean, the setting is in America during World War II, about building the atomic bomb that ultimately brought an end to the war. It's very good. I'd recommend it. Give yourself some time to watch it.
It's
long.
Really long, isn't it?
It's long, but it doesn't feel like, because the way it's directed, it's fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
And
doesn't feel like you're there for 3 hours, but you look up and you are.
Yeah. And Christopher Nolan is notorious for that. He'll make long movies and you don't realize it's like Inception's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
But Oppenheimer, I recommend. Did you ever see Jojo Rabbit?
No.
See, that one, it's not, it's based during World War II. It's in Germany. In the setting, that's the setting. It's not a true story, but it tells a good story and has a good ending. But some of the ones that stood out to me that I can remember off the top of my head. How about you?
Yeah, that's a lot of the same ones, right? Band of Brothers is the one that just sticks with me. I loved it. Then got into like the real life Dick Winters and all the things, he passed away a few years back, and just the amount of respect that all those guys continued to have for him, even after the war was over. It always fascinated me, that part of war and that part of being a company like they were, and how much that not only, I guess you kind of figure it tells you why they were so successful in battle. To me, what happened later, and the trust and the respect that they all had for each other, and for him, and would literally put their life on the line for him. They respected him that much that it really wasn't even a question, And so that's the one that always is just kind of stuck with me, and I continue to to learn a little bit more about it after seeing it, the real life, the guys that were there. It's fascinating how much that, with what we talk about on a daily basis, team and the aspects of what that teaches you, what sports teaches you, multiply that by 1 billion about, being on that unit, those units that go into war. It's the same principles, just at a lot higher stakes.
Yeah.
Not only for personally, but for who you're fighting for. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard transition, but NBA Finals start tonight. It feels like it's been forever, right? Just the way this thing goes. A lot of people have been griping about the layoff, and it really has been kind of out of sight, out of mind. And then for me, like planning the show, like when can we start talking? It's kind of like a bowl game, right? The regular season ends and the conference championship games, and waiting on the playoff to start for almost a month. It hadn't been that long. It's just been a week, but it does seem like it's the momentum of what the NBA had could be lost now. It could pick right back up with a good series. What do you think? Boston's been the team all year long, the most dominant team all year long, albeit in maybe a weaker Eastern Conference than what we saw out West. There's no doubt they have had a much easier path to this NBA Finals, not only with the teams they played, but then the players that were available for the teams that they've played. Every single series, we didn't have Jimmy Butler in the first one, and who'd they play? Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs, and then of course Halliburton missing the last little bit there of the Pacers series. So to me, there's no doubt Dallas is more battle tested as far as this playoff run. But at the same time, you've also got kind of this doesn't it feel – we've seen this throughout the history of the NBA, where teams have had to struggle and fight and year after year build up that scar tissue until finally they break through. And to me, that's exactly where Boston is at right now. The Tatum-Brown combo has made a finals, been in the Eastern Conference Finals a ton, have been unable to break through, but is this their moment where – all of the losses, all of the scar tissue that's built up finally gets washed away with another Boston title?
Yeah, I don't know. The week schedule thing, it's kind of been in the back of my mind if that's or the week path, if that's been a good or bad thing, or will it be a good or bad thing for Boston coming into the finals? Because Dallas is definitely battle tested. It's been clear the Western Conference has been better than the East this year. And, going through the Clippers, through the Thunder, through Minnesota, that's no easy task. And they've not only gone through it, but it looks like everybody's healthy or healthier, including Luka. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be as easy. I think we're going to get a really, really good series between these two. I don't think it's going to be as easy for the Celtics as some might perceive it to be. I like Dallas's I like their size. That's going to force Boston to have to hit some shots. Dallas is very physical. Can Boston reciprocate that, and can they defend that or get past that defense? I don't know if it's going to be as easy for Boston as some people think. I think Dallas has a chance. I'm not suggesting I'm going to pick them, but I think they have a chance to make this not a snoozer of a series.
Porzingis, I heard kind of some audio from him yesterday. If you were looking at a real confidence builder about where he's at health-wise, I certainly didn't gain that from listening to him. It was basically, I've been clearing the hurdles that I'm supposed to be clearing in order to be able to play. But I don't know. I don't know that I will know until we get out there. I mean, all reports have been that that he's planning on playing. We'll see. I'm still not 100% convinced after hearing him that Porzingis is going to play.
Yeah. Now,
I think he would. The thing that's interesting about this series to me is the Boston plight of these guys trying to climb the mountain over and over and over and get to the top, but also the style of play, because who plays like Boston in a lot of ways?
Dallas?
Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma City plays a lot like Dallas. They're built a lot like Boston. Their one main difference is the size of Tatum and Brown is a little bit more than what you get from, say, Shea and J-Dub. They've got a Chet-ish guy in Porzingis. It's really, and then in some ancillary parts that can shoot. And they like to play the same way, a lot of the 5-out stuff. And so I think it almost would give you a glimpse into what exactly Oklahoma City would need if Boston is able to handle Dallas, unlike the Thunder were able to. Like if you're looking to add this or add that, this might be a glimpse into the crystal ball for the type of player that it might take for Oklahoma City to overcome, a Dallas team that looks like they're going to be there for a little bit, just like Oklahoma City is. So Porzingis' health, if he was completely healthy, I really think Boston would have the edge without any doubt in my mind, and be clearly the favorites. Without him healthy and not really for sure where he's at, this becomes a coin flip almost to me.
It does for me too. It absolutely does.
Who's the best player in the series?
Man, that's a great question. You got Tatum, you got Kyrie, and Luka. I'd narrow it down to those three. I think it's Kyrie.
I think it could be too.
I think it's him.
I think most people would just immediately go, Luka. And
Luka would immediately say, no, he's the dude. I heard this earlier today. He's the dude that been here before. He's been on this stage before. I'm following his lead. We are following this guy, and I think he's played really well. He's hasn't changed his game, but he's altered it enough where it complements Luka and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, and both of those guys, more Kyrie than Luka in the OKC series, but both of those guys were unselfish enough to allow P.J. Washington or Lively or Gafford or whoever else to make some shots that mattered. Instead of forcing up kind of a bad one, they were unselfish enough to get great ones.
Yeah.
And kudos to those guys, the support players that knocked them down. We haven't seen that as much in the other two series, which if you're an Oklahoma City fan, you're like, oh, really? P.J. Washington became Klay Thompson against us, and he's been P.J. Washington against everybody else. But it's kind of the way it goes, right? That's the key to me is I think they're going to have those contributions, Dallas that is, from those guys more like what we saw against OKC than what we saw against Minnesota. It was really Kyrie and Luka in the Minnesota series that did the bulk of the heavy lifting, unlike what we saw against the Thunder. I think that's the Thunder that plan or that template is going to have to be followed a lot more by Dallas in this series than it was in that one. All right, who you got?
I'll go the distance, say Boston in 7. But I'll narrow it down. I think Dallas wins tonight.
Both of these teams have been incredible on the road in these playoffs. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of times you'd think, okay, is Boston going to win in 5 or 7, meaning home floor? Or is Dallas going to win in 6 on their home floor? I'll say Boston in 6.
Oh, okay.
I'll say Boston wins it in Dallas in 6 games.
Yeah, tune in. I think it's going to be a really good series.
I do too. Last thing, NBA, before we take a break. What about Danny Hurley? It's being reported now that the Lakers are going to – it almost sounds like they're gearing up like he woke up with a horse head in his bed this morning from The Godfather. Like they're going to make him some kind of offer he can't refuse from the early reporting by Woj and what have you. If you're Danny Hurley, do you make that change?
Here's the deal. There's a lot of question of, he immediately turned down the Kentucky job. I mean, he was very vocal, turning down that Kentucky job. But what's happened between now and then? In that short amount of time, the college landscape has totally changed financially, paying players, all this stuff. He's like, well, heck, I think he's thinking, if I got to treat these guys like pros because they're getting paid, why not just go to the NBA and get buckets of money for it? So that's why people were like, well, why wouldn't he take the Kentucky job if back then? What changed? That changed. Yes, I think he does it 100%.
I kind of do too. And you know what's interesting is, you know what happened 20 years?
I think a lot of influences this is LeBron. I think he's been very supportive. He's been very complimentary of Hurley. And I think this is all going to tie in with LeBron and his son and Hurley at the Lakers.
You realize what happened 20 years ago?
No.
Out in L.A.? They chased another legendary college coach.
That was that 20 years ago?
That was Kay, yeah.
Well, somebody needs to write, some UConn student needs to write Hurley a letter, because that's what happened. That's what kept Coach
right on the front page of ESPN. 20 years after Coach K spurned the Lakers for Duke, UConn's Danny Hurley faces a similar situation or decision.
But man,
I think he goes. I think he goes because exactly, it's you're so spot on. If you're going to have to pay players, why not pay professionals and coach them?
You'd think maybe these guys, you're. I wouldn't say. I like to think that these older men are more mature and it's their job and they're going to act professional,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you're paying these 18, 19, 20-year-old boys.
Yeah,
it's like
I think he does,
and
it too.
he's done enough at UConn. He has nothing left to prove.
Yeah, I think he does it. I really do.
Yep.
And the changing college landscape is the main reason why I think he does it.
Yep.
If this was 10 years ago, I don't think he would. But the way that everything is changing, I think the pros are a lot more attractive than they used to be. Picking in the Park coming up a week from tonight, 8 o'clock, Ackley Park. It's free. Come and join the music of Cody Brewer, Cooper Twyman, JC Aquarius, and Caroline Grace. 8 o'clock, a week from tonight, Picking in the Park. Also, Jared, where would be the perfect place to go watch Game 2 of the Women's College World Series, Game 1 of the NBA Finals for a cheaper price than normal?
Wings at Boomtown.
Boomtown Grill.
In the wings, yes.
Excuse me, 50-cent boneless chicken wings, mild chipotle, sriracha, garlic, parmesan, mango habanero, hot barbecue, kickin' bourbon, sweet red chili. Boomtown Grill, happy hour 2 to 6. You've got 11 open 7 days a week, 11 to 10, Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 11 on Friday and Saturday. 2103 South Main right here in Elk City. Game 1 last night of the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma dominated 8-3 over Texas. Kelly Maxwell did pitch, which we kind of talked about whether or not she'd be able to. She did. She was fantastic again. Now 3-0 against the Longhorns this season. Maybe 2-1. I take that back. Can't remember if she took the loss in that game 3 or not. But anyhow, she's been fantastic against Texas. Kind of gets them to swing at some pitches that maybe nobody else can get them to do. Oklahoma's bats came alive. And once again, a mixture of the old and the young with home runs from Hansen and Jennings. You had Cassidy Pickering with a home run. Ella Parker continues to mash the baseball. So all in all, Oklahoma did what Oklahoma does, and that is put themselves in position to win an unprecedented 4th straight NCAA championship in softball.
They look like they've been there before, didn't it? They look great. Maxwell was awesome. She is absolutely on a roll, and I'd go with her. I know we're about to talk about that. I'm going to immediately go there. I think you go with her tonight. You can see what you got. She's zoned in. She's on a heater, or whatever you want to call it. Go with her again tonight and see what happens. But love, though, use for the response. I mean, there's a lot of question, that underdog role and all that. And I think after that first inning, I know it's 2-1 after one inning, but that home run, and then it was like, we're no underdog. This is where we've done this before. This is where we want to be. We know how to perform on this stage. And they came out and they look like the best team in the country. And the bats were alive everywhere. By the way, Pickering, I think, is the next star. I know other people say, who's the other one? Parker. I think Pickering is a budding star. But, yeah, OU looks great. Tough ass tonight, though. I think Texas is going to come out real, firing. So And that's why, again, I say get Maxwell back in the circle. She's been really good against Texas. I know you. I heard Gundy say this yesterday during the midday show. Her stats versus Texas.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
They're great. So why take her out of the circle? Put her back in there. Let's see what she has left.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice because there's that. You've got a mulligan in your back pocket after winning last night. Give her a day's rest, and she'll be ready to go Friday. Or don't give Texas any sense of hope.
Just go close the door.
It'll totally depend on how she feels. I believe that if she tells Patty she can go, she'll go.
Yeah,
I think it's you kind of heard Gasso say that in the mid innings interview or what have you when Holly Rowe asked her, she threw that many pictures yesterday. She's thrown today, and it's basically either we'll see something or she'll tell us. Other than that, I mean, she kind of said it's the Champ Series. We're doing it. That you do things that you don't normally do to win in this environment, in this situation.
Knows about Maxwell. I've said this before. She gets stronger as the game goes on. She got stronger. I thought she got stronger last. I know she gave up some runs late in the sixth, but she stayed zoned in and shut him down. I'm happy with the quick turnaround. Keep that momentum going. Let's see if that strength continues today to start the game.
I bet she goes.
Yeah.
Because I think it really will be her choice, and I think she's going to do it. Let's see.
By the way, if anyone has tickets, let me know.
You're available? You're available to go up there tonight?
I'll make myself available.
Unprecedented fourth title, or I swear they said this last night, that Oklahoma's never lost 2 playoff games in a row. That can't be true.
Is that true? Do you know? We got a OU guy in here.
It cannot be true all the way through. I mean, they surely went to the World Series and didn't win a game, haven't they? At some point in that run? Anyway.
Maybe one.
Maybe they've always won one.
One, then lost another, but not back-to-back.
I swear they said that at multiple times last night, that Oklahoma had never, but I think it's the seniors. The senior class has never
that
lost
I believe.
back-to-back
That I
playoff
would.
Yeah, they've only lost 4.
Well, that'd have to be true because they've
won every title. They've only lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, if they are able to pull this off tonight or tomorrow night, I think we'll have to start talking about, where that senior class ranks all time in basically any college sport.
It's amazing.
The dominance that they've been able to acquire. It's just been awesome. And of course, the very first thing I read online this morning is it's so unfair that the Oklahoma City advantage and stuff and whatever that is.
Cry some more. I'm tired of it.
We talked about it ad nauseum leading into the week, and if it was such an advantage, it would be bedlam every year. If it was such an advantage, you would have Nebraska playing Creighton every year in Omaha. I mean, give me a break. It does. You can play this team for these last few years could play on the moon and they would whip you. They are just better at softball. They're better coached. They got better players. It's just that simple. And this was never a conversation until about 2017. And now all of a sudden, it has changed. Build a 15,000 seat stadium for softball somewhere, and then it can go.
It's like I said. You're right. It's the same reason softball's getting better across the country is because one team has elevated the sport, and everyone else says we got to get to that level.
And one city bought into that vision and built what's there.
So if some other city wants this thing, answer the call. Do it yourself.
I guess you could always try to play it on a. The thing about it is, it's so much different because it's built for softball. Mm-hmm. It's not just playing in it Bricktown.
Yeah, exactly.
It's built for softball.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. You got to go. You play. You got to play Georgia and Atlanta. You got to play LSU in New Orleans. You got to play Miami in their home stadium in the Orange Bowl. That's just the breaks you get sometimes. And it's funny because no one ever gripes until they lose.
Yeah.
Going into it, it's like, oh, yeah, we'll beat them in their home field. And then when you lose, it's, this is unfair. Move it. Sooners are...
Say, hypothetically, they build it in L.A. They build something in L.A. Are we supposed to say UCLA? We got to move it because UCLA... I mean, UCLA is good. They get to the World Series more often than not. It's tiresome. It's boring now.
I think
Cry more, Mike White.
the cool thing is it's gotten everybody against one team.
And they love that.
Yeah.
It's fuel to their fire, man.
Online, everybody hates Oklahoma, and it doesn't bother.
They rip them when they celebrate a walk. Your team's doing it too.
Hey, it's a little much for me
They
too.
all do it.
Scoreboard down 9-3. Don't slam your bat on
They
the walk.
all do it. Every player does it. Every team.
Hanging out here on a Thursday. Thanks to our friends over at Rother Brothers, Highway 183 north of Clinton. Rother Brothers offers a variety of agriculture and outdoor power equipment. It's second to none in all of Oklahoma. Not a friendlier, more knowledgeable staff than the folks at Rother Brothers. Some of the brands that they service and sell: Case IH, Polaris, Great Plains, Rhino, Dixie Chopper Mowers, Steel, Commercial, and Residential Tools, and many, many more. Give them a call at 580-323-1981. That's Rother Brothers, Highway 183 north of Clinton. Joining us now are a couple of guys involved in the Elk City football program. We got a camp coming up for the kids in July, and then head coach Zach Maynard with us as well. It's Cade Sanford and Zach Maynard. How are you boys?
Good to be with you.
Doing well.
All right, Cade. Second year for the football camp that some OU guys are coming out to participate in. Give everybody an idea of what will be going on, when it is, who's coming, and just kind of the whole thing.
Right, yeah, this is our second year to have this fundraiser to help fund our 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th grade football. We started it last year and had these OU guys come out and, of course, put on a good camp. Matter of fact, people were really impressed with how they did last year. So we've got some different guys coming back this year. Some of the big names that everybody will know is Ethan Downs. He's a 3 or 4 year starter. Of course, now I'm forgetting his name. Danny Stutzman, probably an All-American this year, be a Butkus Award on the Butkus Award list. So got some big guys coming, several starters. Gavin Sawchuk, starting running back, will be out here. So they'll put on a good camp for us. And, again, all the money we use it for is to support our 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th grade football.
Yeah, I noticed Casey Thompson on this list. I'm going to guess the last time, you know what the last time he was on the field at Big Elk Stadium, what happened?
77 points.
84-70. 84-70.
In the wrong direction.
We won. They lost. Yeah, he threw a pick. He scored 70 and threw a pick 60 in the game.
Oh, wow.
For 84-70. It's 3rd through 7th grade in the morning from 8:30 to 12:30. Then 8th grade through seniors, 1:30 to 5:30. Give us an idea of what the campers will get from what's going to be going on that day.
Yeah, so the morning time, we'll have different stations set up, and each player will coach his position. So every player, or every 3rd through 6th grader, or 7th grader rather, will come in, and they'll go through every station. So we'll have plenty of water, plenty of shade. We'll have about a 15 or 20-minute station where they'll go through and be introduced to different positions, different techniques. And then after lunch, and this is what we really want to push today, is last year we didn't have a whole lot of junior high and high school guys come out. They thought it was strictly a youth camp, but the afternoon session is really going to be catered to the older guys, where there'll be a lot of more position-specific drills, where if you're a quarterback, you're going to stay with Casey Thompson and go work with some wide receivers and do some one-on-one stuff, and then maybe some even 7-on-7 stuff. If you're a defensive lineman, we're going to get you in there with Ethan Downs and Dejon Terry and work on pass rush or shedding blocks, and let these guys really teach technique and things that you'll be able to use throughout your season. So we really want these junior high and high school guys to know this isn't just for youth. It's for Elk City youth football, but these guys are coming and knowing that they're going to be coaching high school guys.
When is it? How much does it cost? And it looks like if you're an early bird, you even save a little bit of money.
That's right. So it's July 13th. It'll be here at Elk City. It's $125 if you register before July 1st. If you register after July 1st, it's going to be $150. You can check us out on our Elk City Youth Tackle Football Facebook page, or I'm sure Skinny will post it on his page here shortly. But all you need to know on there is to get signed up. We will have lunch, so the guys will get to stick around. The younger guys will get to stick around and have lunch. These OU guys sit around and have lunch with them and sign autographs, and the older guys get to come early and eat lunch, and then we'll kick that extra or the later session off at 1:30.
All right. There's Elk City Youth Tackle Football Facebook page. The Booster Club's got it on their Facebook page. We'll post it on our Facebook page. Get everybody available and signed up. Coach Maynard is here as well. How's your summer?
It's been good. It's been good.
You got an addition has happened since the last time we talked to your family.
Yeah, we have a little girl now, Millie. She's doing well.
Millie May.
Millie Dean.
Millie Dean. Millie May. I must have just made that up myself.
Could have really triple M's.
Yeah, Millie May Maynard. That's kind of a tongue twister. You guys got Summer Pride started, this week? Started on Monday? Probably the high school's probably already been up there doing some stuff. But how's everything going participation-wise? And do you need to just start motivating anybody to get there that you haven't seen yet?
No, not yet. It's been really good. Kids are showing up, working hard, doing what we ask them to do. Obviously there's a couple church camps this week, and they've also been going to some basketball camps and having baseball as well. So it's been busy. I don't know. It seems like we're busier in the summer than we are during the school year from a kid's standpoint. But no, that they're showing up, working hard, and getting after it, and really meeting expectations right now.
What is kind of like your schedule from here until we get into the August and fall ball actually starts and we get right up into the season?
Well, next Saturday we're going to go to high school's going to go to a 7-on-7 tournament in Stillwater, really other than that, lifting weights and working on fundamentals and technique, that type of stuff with what you can do legally. From 6 to 7:30 in the morning with the high school, and then the junior high comes in about 8, and they work from 8 to 9:30, and that's really what our summer looks like.
How much does the youth football, the tackle football is brand new? I mean, last season was the first season that it kind of came back. How much can that help you in your high school program to get these younger kids more involved and get them into the flow of what that's going to be when they get into junior high?
Well, I think a lot of it is just giving them an opportunity to play. To play whether it's through the tackle football league or the other league, the opportunity to play the sport, get involved in the sport, learn whether you like the sport or not, and if it's something that you want to be, follow and continue to chase at an early age. I think that's vitally important. Obviously we have that with basketball and we have it with baseball, but we have not had it with football until Cade and a couple of the guys stepped up and decided to do it. So I think as far as getting involvement and keeping kids involved, longevity wise, I think it's a really good thing.
Schedule has been in flux since the court thing, and then we finally had that nailed down. In your mind, how did that benefit or not as far as the district goes? Because I know we talked at the end of the season last year, the district that was originally proposed, there was going to be a really good football team that wasn't going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Is it lightened the load a little bit, or it just kind of shuffled some different teams around and it's still going to be a bear in District 4A1?
Well, it's always going to be a bear. It doesn't matter what year it is or who's in it. As long as Clinton, Elk City, and Weatherford are in it, it's always going to be a war. Obviously we get a couple other teams, pick Elgin back up, who had a really good year last year in 5A, and pick up Woodward and Douglas, who you don't really know much about. Douglas has been down recently, but they could be right back in it next year. So, I don't know. That's not really any of my concern, even though, I was on the committee and had to do all of the stuff after the lawsuit went through, and finally it's got to the point where I said, well, just send whoever you want to out here, we'll play them. We ain't running from nobody. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we ended up.
And one I think, at least for me, from an entertainment standpoint, one thing that changed in a positive light is Canadian wasn't going to be in the schedule, and now they are.
Yeah, no, it's great to pick them up. And actually, Coach Hunt called me yesterday or the day before, and that game's going to be on a Thursday, not not August 30th, it'll be on August 29th because the rodeo.
Rodeo, yeah.
So, no, it's exciting. It'll be a great environment. Once again, we'll play that here. And then, the next week we'll have Altus, and then we'll have a week off, and then we'll go down to Burke Burnett and tee it up with Joshua, Texas, who don't know really anything about.
I just figured out that was like a Fort Worth school or something, right?
It's south of Fort Worth.
South of Fort Worth. So we'll go Burke Burnett this year and then meet him somewhere else next year, right?
I don't want to say exactly where it's at, but I want to say Coach Hunt said Iowa Park would be somewhere in that area. Neutral site both years, and it'll be fun.
I can't wait. All right, Cade, one more time. Tell everybody the youth tackle football camp coming up. It's July the 13th. What ages, what grades, what times, and how can people get signed up to come not only work with the guys, but then, of course, the OU guys that are coming out?
Right. So, again, it's July 13th. There's 2 divisions. The morning session will be 3rd through 7th graders, start at 8:30. The second session will be after lunch. That's 8th through 12th graders. And we've got these OU players coming out that are, significant guys on the team that'll show you different techniques, different things. And also, if you're a business or somebody wants to sponsor, get a hold of us on Facebook page. And we're putting out videos with these guys, and you could sponsor one of these OU guys to come out and put on this camp. But it's $125 for paid before July 1st and $150 after July 1st. So just check us out on Facebook, Elk City Youth Tackle Football. Got just about everything you need to know there.
Hey, and by the way, it's one of the coolest camps I think I've ever seen. I went to it last year. Max was in it and had a lot of fun. You don't really know, you got these high school kids. Everybody in today's world thinks they're going to play Division I something or pro something. Well, factually, that's obviously not what the statistics say, but come out and see these guys and really allow your kids to maybe learn what it might take to actually get to that level, because everybody has hopes and dreams, but not everybody in this world wants to put in the work. And obviously you'll be able to tell that these guys put in a lot of work in the weight room and time and effort in their sport and their craft. It's a really neat deal. I challenge everybody to get their kids out for it.
Absolutely. All right, Cade Sanford, Coach Maynard, thank you boys very much for joining us. And we'll post that all on the social medias and get as many people out there as we possibly can. All right, that'll do it for Thursday. We're going to be at the golf course tomorrow, live on set. Supposed to have the most optimistic OSU fan and the most pessimistic OSU fan about the football season on air live tomorrow with each other about 9:30 or so. I'll reveal their identities if they actually show up. Everybody have a great day.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered